So I've been reading God of High School lately, and I gotta say, I really do enjoy it. I think it's a very good read, especially if you're looking for a good action-adventure type series, and I kind of wanted to talk about it today. I wanted to talk about the Webtoon in particular. I'm going to be going over some of the differences between the Webtoon and the anime, what I think the Webtoon in particular does well, and why I think you should read it. I'm then going to be talking about some of the characters, specifically my favorite characters, and I'm going to be going into some of my criticisms of the series. I'm not going to cover anything that happens after the season 1 anime. I've only read 50 chapters after that anyways, and so I kind of wanted to spend this time to talk about the beginning of the series. I'll review it arc by arc if this video does well, and if people just, aren't really too interested, I'll make another video talking about what I think of the entire series as a whole. But for now, let's just get into what I think about the first couple of arcs. And so I think in general, the best part about Tower of God is the choreography. I think the choreography is absolutely fantastic. You would think that in the anime, the choreography is going to be much better because the choreography in the anime is very, very good. It's animated by Mappa, and their animators are incredibly talented. The fights look insane, to be honest. But I really thought that they kind of carried that. I thought the fight was carried by the animation studio. But no, actually, I never really thought I'd say this, but the fights in the Webtoon are actually much, much better than the anime. The way that they're drawn is absolutely incredible. There's some manga artists, or Webtoon artists rather, that can just make you feel like it's being truly animated in your head. Like some of it can be kind of choppy with other series. You're just kind of reading a series of images. But in God of High School, it just has this magical way of making you imagine these insane fights in your mind. I think I've never really read anything quite like it. Maybe the closest thing to it would be Jujutsu Kaisen. I think that also has amazing choreography. But in my opinion, even God of High School is just leagues above everything else in terms of choreography. For example, at one point, Jin Mori is fighting, and the guy puts his arms up to guard, and Jin Mori hooks his leg around their arm to kind of circumvent that guard. And I thought that it was so creative. I'd never seen anything like it. His triple kick as well is probably one of the coolest moves I've ever seen. So he jumps in the air, he kicks your head will fly back from the recoil, but he'll move his foot faster than your head can fly back, and he'll use the counter force of your recoiling head to kick it again even harder forward, and then kick it backwards again. So it's like a triple kick where he rattles your brain and nearly kills you. I don't know, just stuff like that I found to be really, really cool and really unique. To match the choreography, I think each character has a very profound presence that I've really never seen matched. I think the only example of that I would say that could kind of compare to it would be Bleach. I absolutely love Bleach. It's by far my favorite shonen action manga. And I think that I really did get a lot of Bleach vibes from God of High School, which is a very, very good thing. Some of these characters will just pull up, and just the sheer amount of presence that they have is just so hype, man. The way that these characters interact with each other, the way that every single character just seems to be so confident in their own abilities. They're all so profound. It's just really, really well done. Another thing I think the God of High School did very well, specifically in the Webtoon, was the comedy. In the anime, for some reason, I never really laughed. I never really found it to be too funny. But in the Webtoon, I think the author does a much, much better job. I know that the anime was rushed and they wanted to show as much action as possible, but I really do think that the beginning portions of God of High School serve as a very good comedy, and it was kind of disappointing to not have that transferred into the anime for me personally. But to get into some of the characters, I've already talked about Jin Mori a little bit. Jin Mori is a pretty good main character. I will say, I'll get into this a little bit later when I'm kind of getting into some of my criticism of the series. I think he is pretty basic as a main character, not gonna lie, but in general, he's very, very likable. He's really cool. But the biggest thing about Jin Mori that kind of tends to separate himself from other main characters is that his whole mantra is just doing whatever he wants. That's his thing. He says it multiple times. It's something his grandpa has told him. It's his grandpa's mantra as well. His whole thing is just do whatever you want. This in and of itself is not very unique because other main characters, you can name any of them, Naruto, Luffy, those two in particular, They do whatever they want. Specifically Luffy, I'd say. He does whatever he wants, but eventually there has to reach a point where the character who embodies this idea of freedom and doing what they want will eventually hit a wall and realize, a very good maturing moment, that they can't do whatever they want. There are consequences to actions. And I feel like this kind of mirrors, like, in real life, like a lot of teenagers, they kind of tend to think that they're invincible, and they kind of go into life just, doing whatever. I'll just, not do this responsibility. I'll just ignore this obligation, whatever. And then eventually they realize that there are consequences to actions. And I really do enjoy this type of development. Again, it's nothing unique, but it can be executed very well. But I think specifically in Jin Mori's case, it's going to be something that's crazy. I'm going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory in terms of like the ending of like season 1 of the anime and the first couple arcs of the webtoon. It's not really a minor spoiler. It's a pretty big spoiler if you haven't already known. Jin Mori is a god. And so he's going to be entering the realm of the gods. As a god in the human realm, obviously he's not going to have consequences for his actions. Again, he's a literal god. He can do whatever he wants. But now that there's going to be other, I'm assuming more powerful gods that are going to keep him in check, he's going to quickly realize that if he doesn't get his stuff together and actually become responsible and caring of what he does and the consequences of his actions, he's gonna get his stuff rocked. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him hit those walls and develop as a character. I think that has a lot of potential to be really good, but for now it's just kind of super basic. He has all those fairly stereotypical protagonist traits, but it serves its purpose. It's not bad. I never disliked it in particular. So yeah, overall I think Jin Mori is a good main character for the series. The next character I wanted to talk about is Ymira, and I just gotta say, this author really knows how to do a female. What? This author really knows how to write a good female character. I really enjoy how, I'm gonna be real, in a lot of these like anime and mangas, and even some webtoons, the female of the group really just seems forced, just to sort of like pander to social justice warriors, right? They're always like, oh, don't underestimate me because I'm a girl, and it's just trash. Like, for example, Sakura from Naruto, like, she'll say something like, oh, I finally caught up to Naruto and Sasuke. But did you though? Like, you're still trash, right? I think certain newer generation manga are doing a much better job of having females that are, actually doing the bare minimum. And I think that Ymira, for example, goes above and beyond that. I really didn't expect her fight with Ilpio to be so good. I really expected them to kind of milk the fact that like, oh, I'm a girl and I'm doing good for a girl. But no, I think the author actually knows how to genuinely write a compelling female deuteragonist, which is so rare nowadays, and especially for its time. I'm pretty sure it came out around like 2014. And for that time to be able to write a good female character like that, when what was thriving at that time was like complete garbage female character writing, I think it's really, really impressive. I didn't cringe once at anything that she did, which is really good. And I really like how instead of her just flat out saying like, yeah, I'm a woman, I have it bad, feel sorry for me, the author kind of puts the time into actually showing you all that she goes through. It shows that like, because men, when they're fighters, they're going into, they're doing all this training, their hands get all rough, their body gets scarred, and people glorify that, right? They think like, oh wow, he's such a tough guy, and theoretically, women, are into that kind of stuff, right? But if there's a woman who wants to pursue this and do all that stuff, in general, men aren't going to like that. They're going to go for the more girly woman. And even her, she's seen these attractive men that are like, interested in her. And she's like, nah, this guy's weak. He can't handle me, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can't inherit the Moonlight sword style, so he's garbage to me, And she puts her swordsmanship above everything. Which is quite interesting, especially considering the wedding little mini arc, where it shows that she is quite literally willing to resign her entire life. Marrying somebody is a huge deal, and she's willing to just absolutely, like, it shows how far she's willing to go in order to get a person to inherit the Moonlight sword style. And I think Jin Mori sort of telling her, hey, who cares about your obligations? You actually need to do whatever you personally want. Is again really, really good, and I really like how the characters sort of play off of each other. But my favorite character so far in the God of High School has definitely been Han Dewi. Dewi is great. I really like how he is kind of like a gentleman by default, right? He's a very, very nice and caring guy. It was kind of seen in the tournament arc where it's like sort of progressing to where like you see him like not attacking people when they have their back turned. When he knocks them down, he puts his hand out to pick them back up. Just a very, very kind guy. But as soon as his friends' lives are on the line, as soon as, you know, stuff hits the fan, he's willing to discard all of that. He'll go for like hits below the belt. He'll, you know, go for the eyes. He'll do all this incredibly dirty fighting. He'll pull hair. He simply does not care. He will do anything it takes to protect his friends. And I really, really like that. Again, all of these character tropes that these characters have, none of them are like mind-blowing, right? They're not going to be like stuff that, oh, wow, I've never seen that one before. But again, I think the way it's done, the way that they play off of each other, and the way it's done within the context of the fighting is all very, very good. Now, I didn't just want to hop on this video and only say good things because there's no such thing as a perfect series. There are a lot of flaws in the God of High School, and I kind of wanted to take this time to get into them. So as I said in the beginning, Jin Mori is ridiculously basic. Sometimes I'm like, am I reading One Piece filler? Am I reading Naruto filler? Like, what filler am I reading? But nah, he's just that boring. Speaking of boring, dude, the commissioners are garbage so far. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do understand the appeal, and I do see that some people enjoy them, but all of them are kind of like embodying a singular trait and very, very like one-dimensional. And like, I get that some of their abilities are cool, but like with the amount of fights that they tend to get, it's just so boring, man. I just don't want to watch that. I don't know why. I guess like the relationship between Q and R or whatever, I think I'm getting that right. I don't know. It's pretty entertaining, but like everything else is just so uninspired and boring. The series actually kind of hypes them up and spends a lot of time like showing their battles, and they're all trash. Speaking of hyping up, the Six? What? Dude, they are so like, okay, I'm sorry, like, I'm kind of going a little too far, but like, I think of like, when I think of like a really powerful like group in one of these series, I think of like the Phantom Troop, the Akatsuki, the Espada, like even if we talk about like Tower of God, you know, like the family heads. These guys, the Six, are hyped up to be like some of the most powerful humans in existence, and they're all trash. Name one interesting member of the Six. I think, okay, Mujin or Mubong, or bro, he can't even decide his own name. That guy, he's actually really, really interesting. I think they did a good job building his whole mystique, but like everything else is just so garbage. Imagine being a member of the Six just to get washed by some random old man. Like, I don't know, bro. It just doesn't even make any sense. Speaking of some of the powers that these characters have, the power system is basically just like scuffed stands, which is like kind of trash if I'm being honest. Like, it's not bad for sure. Like some of the borrowed powers are actually really cool, but it's just kind of basic. There isn't too much depth to it. And some of these characters are absolutely awful. Like, okay, I was talking about the administrators and Jin Mori and the Six. I was like mostly kind of like exaggerating and joking, but some of these characters are like disgustingly bad, man. Like, I can't even stand to view them on the screen, and I genuinely believe just their omission from the story would actually make the story better. For example, that one chick with the weird lips, like, bro, why her lips like that, man? What the, dude, she's disgusting. That one girl who wears like a ball gag in her mouth because she like has a swearing problem or something. I don't know, it's just weird. It makes me uncomfortable seeing that. And then, you know, I definitely don't want to get into this guy. Building on the idea of like some of the characters not being very good, it does hamper some of these story moments. Like, for example, when the announcer died, that was not emotional at all. That was supposed to be like one of the emotional high points of the series where like some people are gonna cry. Bro, if you cried for the announcer, what are you, like 99% soy? That was just like not even a compelling death at all. He basically just said, oh yeah, by the way, I got a wife and a kid, now I'm dead. Not very good at all. Additionally, some of the decisions that the characters make are just absolutely brain dead and just don't even fit the narrative and their personality at all, really. Like Jin Mori and Han Dewi like hopping in and stopping people from like fighting. Like, why? Like, I get it, right? Like they're good people, but Han Dewi is somebody who's like, he's so driven to win. Jin Mori is also driven to win, right? And they're just like, okay, these people are consenting to fight, right? It's like going to a Drake concert and then turning off the music because you feel bad for everybody. Like, I know it's torture, I know it's bad, but they're enjoying it. They consented to be there. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. Why are these characters like, okay, I get it. The author needs like a reason for them to not be like directly involved in the fighting so that they don't like roll every single team. They need to like handicap them. But like, dude, like, why are they interfering with fights that don't even matter to them? It's so annoying. Also, on a completely unrelated note, some of the pacing is like really weird. Sometimes it's like incredibly fast paced where it feels like you don't even know what's going on. And then other times it feels like you're reading just like a filler chapter. It can be very weird. In general, I really love God of High School. I don't know why I kind of just like went crazy there. Most of it was like exaggerated and joking, but like in general, I really love the series. If you enjoyed really well done action and very entertaining characters, I would highly recommend the series. And the only thing I would say that it doesn't quite have yet is like very interesting lore and world building. But I'd say in the adventure arc, which takes place like, you know, after the season 1 of the anime and the first 2 arcs of the webtoon, the world building gets like much better. So if you're into that sort of stuff, I would definitely stick it out till then. But yeah, that's about it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching to the very end. If you like God of High School content, please comment and let me know if you want more videos like this, or if you want like some character analysis type stuff, some more like high effort scripted videos. This is kind of just like a rambling going on about what I think of the series so far. If you want to see me review the next arc, please just let me know. I really want feedback on this video again because this is my first God of High School video. I've been uploading a lot of Tower of God, so I just kind of want to see what the interest is. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you like webtoon content. I have a ton of it on the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you guys.